For the police, they're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in our use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
And the timer in SPG, it is 8:14, and that means, given that it's Thursday morning, it's time for our Cop Chatter session for today. And we will be talking with members of the Rapid Response Unit, Ready and Responded, the Rapid Response Unit. In studio, we have Sergeant Lafleur Williams and Constable Desron Maloney. Sergeant and Constable, good morning and welcome to the studios of WEFM.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mrs. Samuel.
Mrs.
Oh.
How are y'all doing this morning?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Great. Okay, you could move. Right. All righty. So we are going to be talking about the Rapid Response Unit. So what is the Rapid Response Unit all about?
Well, as the name suggests, Rapid Response Unit. We were formed in 2002. Presently, we have, that was with one unit. So now we have 6 units. We have Shotty Blair, Union Island, Beckway, Leyu, Atley Hall, and Diamond, which is the main base. Our mission statement is to effectively and efficiently respond to crimes, distress calls, disturbances, and to police St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make it a better and safer place for all within the frameworks of the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay. So how does this unit differ from the other units then?
Just before I add,
Okay.
we also have a vision statement, which is to become a professional and recognized unit within the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force with skilled, trained, motivated, and disciplined personnel to respond to crimes, disturbances, and distress calls within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So basically what we do is that on a day-to-day basis, we assist the various departments within the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, whether it be a domestic dispute, a firearm, drug, whatever we can, we go as the backup for them. So we provide the entire security for them.
Okay. So it's kind of like you're the first on the scene. If a call is being made to some extent, would that be you?
It depends on the location.
Okay.
Because normally you would have force responders before or sometimes. It may be a civilian or a police. So whenever control dispatch the calls to us, we would respond within a timely manner within less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in terms of the execution of your duty, what kind of incidents or reports would typically you would be the ones responding to? I know that Sergeant Williams listed some, but what else is there? Because I think we tend to see, you do patrols, right?
Yeah, we do regular patrols.
Okay. And why? Why is this? Why is patrolling needed?
I think it's a part of us to prevent and also detect crimes, which is also our mission as police officers, not just RIU, but police within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We do VCPs also, which
Break that down. What's
most people
VCPs?
know that as stop and search is vehicular checkpoint. So we do stop and search regularly. It's just a way of us to, like, not just for the public to see us, but to go out and see if we can also prevent a crime or actually detect something.
Okay. And is your presence generally felt in all communities?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So just to add to what my colleague has said, it's just the mere police presence would make the community feel safe. Because once they see regular patrols in the areas, they know that they are safe.
Okay. Should this unit be fair though? Because I tend to wonder sometimes you're dressed in black and rolling around with your weapons. Should this unit be fed?
I think it's a cliche. Because as people say that, oh, we Black Squad, and we come to intimidate or put fear in them, and that is not so. We are here to keep the peace, just as so that everybody would be safe. Let's say we respond to a murder scene. You know, that scene sometimes would be chaotic. So what we does, the area will be cordoned off, and we put security in specific areas so as to that no one could interfere with the investigations, or because sometimes they might walk apart and bam, the information that you're looking for, the piece of clue to solve that puzzle, is under their shoe. Okay. So us having a firearm is not putting fear in people. It's reassuring the public that law and order must and should always be maintained in St. Vincent and the Grenadines at all costs.
Okay. Anything to add?
No.
All right. So in terms of, let's say, intelligence gathering, situations of cross-border criminal activity, etc., how does the RIU fit into all of this? The unit itself.
In terms of intelligence, sometimes we do our own intelligence, we do our own investigation, but as we should know, the police can only do so much on their own. We also need to collaborate with the public and also gather information from the public to help us, not just to make the work easier, but to be more successful at what we do.
Okay. All right. I can't remember which one of you raised the point of stop and search. So RIU is also responsible for stop and search of vehicles.
Basically, any station or department can do stop and search.
Okay. So just let us know a little bit. When it comes to stop and search, I know that in the US that a police officer cannot search, or maybe in certain states, I mean, not just in the US because I'm not quite sure of that, but in certain states, a police officer cannot search a vehicle without a search warrant. When a stop and search is conducted here in SVG, do you have that authority to search a vehicle without presenting a warrant?
Yes, we can. According to the Firearms Act, Section 30, that gives the police officer the right, give the police officer the right to search a vehicle without a warrant. So a police officer may, without a warrant, stop and search any vehicle in which he reasonably suspect any firearm or ammunition is being conveyed, and may search the driver and any person conveyed in that vehicle. Subsection 2 says, that is Section 30, subsection 2. And it says, any person who under this section, A, being the driver, fails to stop the vehicle at the request of the police officer, or being a person conveyed in a vehicle, prevents or intimidates the driver so as to prevent him from stopping at the request of the police officer, or escape or attempts to escape from a vehicle stopped by a police officer, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding $5,000 or imprisonment not exceeding 3 years. And we also have the power to search any person without a firearm, contrary to Section 30 of the Firearms Act, Chapter 386, and it says, where a police officer reasonably suspect that any person is carrying a firearm or ammunition concealed about his person, he may, A, ask if the person is carrying a firearm, B, if that person is carrying a firearm or ammunition, require that person to produce a firearm or ammunition, and unless he is exempted under Section 15, which is if he has a license to carry a firearm.
But the stop and search is to see if the person has a firearm and if something else is found.
Yes, so the Firearm Acts give us that leeway to do that.
Yes, if something has been found and it's deemed to be illegal, then yes, that person would be charged.
So you stop the vehicle for firearm.
So it's interesting though, but
and you find cocaine, you can be arrested and charged.
Okay. It's interesting. It's an interesting law. All right. So when persons meet you executing duties, let's say on the road with the stop and search, what general advice would you have to give to persons in those cases?
Just comply and let the police go about their job professionally. Sometimes we have difficulties. You might just decide to stop a vehicle, and by the time the vehicle stop, then the driver, why not go look for the criminals? These sort of things. So it happens very, very often with us. So my advice to people is just comply, let police go about their job, and then go on their very own.
Just be calm, as my colleague said, comply, because you can also be charged for obstructing a police officer in the due execution of their duties. So the best thing is to stay calm, or if you have any information that you want to share, you could just call the police by yourself and relate that information.
Okay. There are often times when we are passing and as motorists or pedestrians and an exercise is being conducted on the road, right? As bystanders, what would you say to us? I had an interesting situation last, you were there? Oh, you were there? Right. So an interesting situation last Friday in Bookevent, and I wasn't deliberately trying to be difficult, but it was just an interesting situation. So what general advice would you give to us as bystanders when we come across certain situations? All right, Maloney?
Well, it depends on the situation, because I have no knowledge of what you're actually talking about.
Okay.
So as I said, just comply, let police go about their job. It's not every time you meet police doing an operation or even a simple stop and search that sometimes the public have a tendency of just trying to just walk in between the police when they can go around. Simple stuff like that can go a long way. So as my sergeant said, you have to be careful, because you also can be charged with obstruction of duties.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Well, basically, I understand what you're saying. So if the police are met on the road in stop and search and the police didn't stop you, don't stop, because you obstructing the free flow of traffic. So just go along your merry way,
Okay. And what, in your opinion, are some of the common misconceptions that people have of RRU?
Well, some people, they think that RRU officers, they are always aggressive. But I beg to differ. We are humans. We are trained officers. In terms of dealing with situations, we know how to handle them, and we treat people with utmost respect.
Okay.
Because we need the public on board with us so that we could solve every crime that occurs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So justice could be done.
Okay. And Maloney, in your view, given that you are part of the unit, what are some of the common misconceptions people tend to have that you've come across and you've experienced?
That you come to beat up people.
Yeah.
Which I think is very bad. I think our approach most of the time, because of what we normally deal with, we have to treat every search, every situation serious, because we just never know what we're going to meet upon. Sometimes you meet certain people and you go about your duties, and people who you don't expect to be carrying even firearm or illegal drugs, you found it on them. So you have to treat every situation the same. So people often think that our seriousness and the way we go about our job is that we come to beat people, but that's never the case.
And just to add what Maloney said, sometimes they think that we are not approachable because normally
Because you're real serious.
I don't think that's, because police in a serious business. And if you do not stand your grounds, people will not respect you. So you have to be respectful before you can respect others. So therefore, what we do on a daily basis, we approach persons, we identify ourselves, and we told them about our mission. We inform them of our mission. So, and then I think from there we build a bond with persons in St. Vincent and the Grenadines so that they can approach us. Or sometimes, if we have a little social, we would invite them. So they would know, boy, these officers, they really are caring people. Because as you said, because our faces are always serious, but the seriousness doesn't mean anything. We have love for people. We do care about people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what we want a safer St. Vincent and the Grenadines for everybody. We need the days that when we used to leave our homes, or doors opens, our neighbors used to look out for us. That is what we want back, to restore the public trust in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm imploring on Vincentians just to cooperate with us. You see something, you hear something, let the police know. Because sometimes you don't know when that shoe would be on your foot. And then things would,
Okay. Curious question as well. So oftentimes it's a spectacle whenever you're carrying out an operation, let's say on the roads, right? On the main roads or roads in general. And it always causes persons to slow down and to look, right? Or in the age of social media, some persons might take out their phone and start recording. Whenever a stop and search is being conducted, is it right for us to assume that that person is automatically guilty of doing something?
No, they are not. It's just, as I said before, police conducting their duty. Even to be honest, you have to always go through the court proceeding. So even if we meet you with a firearm, the least we can do is to process you, do our investigation, and maybe take you to court. The court is who decide if you are guilty or if you are not guilty. We do not have the privilege to say, well, John Jones is guilty. We do not.
Or even just in doing a stop and search itself. How is there a method in terms of what is used for the stop and search, or is it for the most part at random? It could be intelligence based.
It is basically for investigations purposes and gathering intelligence.
Okay.
So
if you pull me over,
sometimes you stop a vehicle randomly. So you hear a person speaking, then quickly there's an accent. So then now you would take that person into custody and do some investigations. Sometimes that investigation reveals that that person is wanted for serious crime in another country. So basically, the reason for stop and search is for gathering for investigations purposes and intelligence.
And it could also be random, right? You could randomly pull me over and
it's
right.
random.
Okay. So it doesn't automatically mean that that person is guilty.
But
guilty of something as well, right?
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Right. Okay. All right. All right, I'm seeing somebody asking from the cop chat this morning. Is happening? Okay. In terms of the execution of your duties, when are you allowed to use force?
Well, there's a use of force policy within the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. So the first one is the officer's presence. So I met Maloney. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Next question, I would ask him if he has anything legal or that could injure me or injure him. So we have the use of force policy as well. So the thing is, so our firearm is always our last resort. Unless somebody's life is at risk or my colleague's life is at risk, then we determine the situation from there. So if Mr. Maloney comes at me with a scissors. The first thing I should use is my firearm. No. If I have a baton or a pepper spray, you could use those because you don't want to use a high level of force, and this man only have a scissors, because our actions must and should be justifiable at the end of the day.
Okay. And if you okay, let me leave that alone. All right. So in terms of the public, what warnings or commands or compliance do you tend to find that causes a lot more of resistance, especially when crowds are gathering? What you want to see to maybe persons within the crowds? Do you tend to find that crowds encourage persons to maybe act in ways that they shouldn't?
It depends on the type of crowd. You know, if you're talking about like a event or party, people under the influence of alcohol, then that'll be very, very hard to contain. You have to really put up with a lot because you're gonna have a lot of obstruction, to be honest. And basically you can charge everybody for it, but I don't think it will be the correct way to go about it. You have to show a high level of tolerance, you know, because it will be testing. It will be very, very challenging to control a hard crowd, especially who's under the influence of alcohol. So,
what about when the crowd is egging the person on who you're possibly trying to detain?
So the thing is, what one must do, give clear command. So if those commands are not adhered to, then we will take a next step.
Okay.
Because there's different types of crowd and different types of crowd control. So if it is an aggressive crowd, what you could do, you could take photos, and then when everybody disperse, now we can go and look for that person and deal with him within the framework of the laws.
Do y'all get training for this though?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
As we stated, we are well trained officers.
Okay.
And disciplined as well.
Okay. And what about in cases? Let's say there is a situation happening between a police officer and somebody who you're trying to detain, and it's recorded. Do you, as police officers, have the right to tell persons not to record, by the way?
No.
Okay.
They recording for evidential purposes.
No, not police. Me, you know, me as somebody looking on.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We can't stop you from doing your recordings.
Okay.
Because in the future, if something goes wrong, we expect you to cooperate with us. Depends on which side the whether the police is wrong or the police is right. So that clip would be in the air. So that would assess the police conduct on that day.
Okay.
In that sense, you have to, even though you have a right to record, you have to be careful how you record it, because some people tend to leave their personal space and come all the way to the police just to record when the police is not actually dealing with them. So that can result in a obstruction of duty or even an assault.
Assault charge?
Yeah, depending on how close you get. Like some people tend to come right up to the police, touch the police, all them kind of thing, just to record.
Okay.
So you have to be careful the way you go about that.
So talk to persons directly. Talk to persons directly when you're doing your work, when you're executing whatever you're supposed to be doing in terms of the crowds. Because what we tend to find is on social media is that a lot of persons are egging on the persons or encouraging the persons, the same persons who you're trying to detain, right? Many of the times, the recording always captures the part that gets on social media where it makes y'all look bad, right? So talk to persons about things like that. And even persons maybe formulating their own opinions just based off of part of an incident that they see happening. Anything you want to tell persons with regards to that?
Well, I always say when a video is being recorded, you don't ever get from the start. You know, you always record from when certain things already took place.
The part that suits the public.
And some people very, very mischievous. They record and have all the evidence, but they'll post exactly what they want to post and what they want the public to see.
All right. Lafleur, you're going to have to talk in your mic.
No, I say no, we have AI, so those videos can also be altered.
Okay. So just you want to let the crowds know to leave you to do your jobs, right?
Definitely. We don't have a problem they're looking on, but just stay within the framework of the law.
As it can go as simple as I am arresting John Jones and you are there looking on record and you're like, officer, leave him man, give him a chance, leave him alone. I do not know. That is also deemed to be obstructing the police officer.
You mean verbally saying that?
Yeah.
That's obstruction?
It's obstruction of duty.
Okay, interesting. All right. So when it comes to the seizure of phones, speakers, bags, etc., how is this documented and as well as being retrieved after? What's the general process for persons to know that, all right, let's say I've been found not guilty, that I am going to get back my belongings in a proper condition?
The police force itself and different departments have what we call exhibit keepers. So, for instance, in the case of a cell phone or even a backpack, something simple as that, it have to be documented. An exhibit tag will be placed on it, which will be labeled also and handed over to the exhibit keeper, who is responsible for the confiscating of goods.
Okay.
Right, and as you said, if that person is found not guilty, the court would order that those items be returned. So upon returning these items, they would sign that they received the items in the conditions that they were left.
Okay. And we touched earlier in terms of training. I was asking a question in terms of training to handle crowd management training. But what other type of training do you generally receive, especially on a regular basis? What type of training have you received?
Well, I have a wide range of training. Intelligence and security, firearms, the financial intelligence unit, which deals with money. RSS basic course, RSS basic seamanship course, jungle survival, leadership, just to name a few. But I'm well trained.
Okay. But because of the fact that you interface a lot with the public, have you been able to get like specific training in terms of, apart from the crowd management, but in terms of maybe just how to speak to people? Because one person's already here saying that some of you don't speak to people in the right way. Do you get that type of training to know how to speak to individuals so as to diffuse certain situations to prevent them from escalating? Or do you do maybe like on-the-job training where you, Sergeant Lafleur might pull up Malone if you saw him acting a particular way? Do you do that in-house training? Even if just by way of conversation to say, well, you did not handle this situation the correct way. This is how you should, because given her years of experience, does that tend to happen?
Yes, we normally have regular like meetings at our base where we have conversations the way how we should deal with people on a day-to-day basis. So that, as I said before, whenever we approach somebody, we say good morning, so, or good afternoon, so, and I am Sergeant 615 Williams. So that person would know that I am speaking to Sergeant Williams directly. We are not afraid of giving persons our name, our number, and our rank. We does that. So in the event that something happened, that person can come and say, Sergeant Williams was on that patrol, and then I would tell you now the other persons who were there with me, because we don't have anything to hide. What we need, what we have is transparency.
Okay. All right. So what we would do at this time, we would take a quick break, and then we'll be back with questions from you, the listeners, and on today's Cop Chat program. All right. So in studio, we have Constable Desron Maloney and Sergeant Lafleur Williams, and they are from the Rapid Response Unit. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.
99.9 WEFM. That
could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Falls Avenue and in Arnisvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain, Cooper Tires, king of the road and track, Ostone, the king of the outback, and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnisvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home? We've got the mortgage. Starting your first business? Count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 456-1501 or visit us in Heritage Square so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
Are you tired of being tired? Fighting the battle of the bulge? Take a breath of fresh air and embrace a new lease on life. Oxygen Fitness Center is here, located in the Camden Park Industrial Estate in the Green Building, next door to the government printery. Our range of fitness equipment and programs were carefully selected to meet your needs. Take a leap of faith today. Oxygen Fitness Center has the answers to your fitness needs. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram or call us at 457-8333.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking, but we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
3, 2, 1.
WEFM is SVG.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
And And we are back with our Cop Chat program for today. In studio, we have Sergeant Laflo Williams and Constable Desron Maloney of the Rapid Response Unit. And we are asking questions in relation to this unit. All right, Sergeant. Okay, so we have a caller. Let's take this caller at the time. Caller, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. All right, so the phone lines are open if you wish to pose a question to the officers. The numbers to call is 457-9997. All right. So while we await your calls, let's just head to some other things, talk on some other things. All right, so we do have a caller. So, hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
I have a question. During the time of stop and search, as one of the officers says, suppose now the stop a vehicle and the vehicle is stopped and they run off. You think that the officer have the right to shoot up that vehicle? I never really saw it happen because I was in position already when I see officer on the road at early morning with guns and well, there's sometimes they know who they're looking for. We can in van already and they come, they say good morning, they stop the van, they say good morning and they spot the lights and then they tell the van go. So they know who they're looking for. But my question is just, suppose now a vehicle is stopped and they run off. Should they shoot at them or what?
No, the police shouldn't shoot at the vehicle.
Hello?
Are you hearing? Caller? Caller?
Yes.
All right, are you hearing?
At all.
Are you hearing the officer? Sit again.
Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, the police shouldn't shoot at the vehicle if the vehicle drive off. Even if we're doing a stop and search and the vehicle failed to comply.
So what happens in those instances, though?
So what the police would do, we would follow that vehicle. So at some point, we would still be giving verbal command to stop. So once adhered to, we would approach, identify ourselves, and told them of our duties, inform them, of our duties. And then we take it from there.
Okay. Question answered, caller?
Okay, thanks.
All right, you're welcome.
Enjoy your day.
You too, thank you. All right, so the phone lines are open if you wish to pose a question to the officers. So before we get the next call, what information should we know when it comes to seizures and arrests? All right. Go ahead. All right. So when it comes to the power of seizing and arresting, what should we know as the public?
Well, it should be accurate facts. What the police said that they found, that would be shown as exhibit. So let's say the police said that we found 3 kilos of cocaine. On that day in court, 3 kilos of cocaine would be showed up in court. So nothing would be tampered with. So normally what we do, we ask the person to place their initial on the exhibit. So they can also identify that specific exhibit that was found on that day in question.
Okay.
It basically doesn't have to be drugs or firearm. We can be doing a stop and search and we see someone going in a vehicle with 4 flat screen TV. And we question the person about how he obtained these TV and they cannot give an account. They can't say they just bought them a coats because that time of the morning. So we can confiscate these items, do our investigation, and if the investigation reveal that he's the one of the TV, then. So
just to add, those items would also be photographed by CRA personnel.
Okay. Yeah. And what is your role like in terms of coordinating with the other units of the police force? How integral is your contribution or the coordination in general?
Well, we work closely with the other departments or police units within the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. We provide the support for them in terms of external, sometimes internal security, because sometimes we may enter a building blind, and we don't want those officers who are not trained as we are in certain areas of training that we receive. So we would go and make sure the part is safe for them. Because normally you don't want any casualty, whether it be on the accused or whether the homeowner side or the police side, we don't want that. So far, that hasn't been happening. So we thank God that Vincentians are quiet, calm, and peaceful people, and we just want that to remain that way.
All right, so we have 2 calls coming, but let's take this first one. Hi, caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I just want to pose a question to the officers. Normally, you have these vehicles coming with the little blue lights to the backward. And officers keep stopping people concerning these lights and telling them to move them and why they put them in. But if a vehicle comes with the lights, how can you move the lights? That's my question. I will listen off air.
Okay, all right, thanks, caller. Something y'all can answer?
I can't answer that.
Okay. These imported vehicles with additional lights. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, caller, what I would do is that I would note that question, but I would direct it to Sergeant King of the Traffic Department. All right. Okay.
Ideal.
All right. All right. Sergeant Williams, you have finished the point on the coordination with the other units?
Right. So we assist them in any operations they would be carrying out on that specific day. So we provide support for them in terms of internal and external security.
Okay.
So, as you said, persons may see us come into a house with firearms. Please don't be intimidated by us. We are just there to keep the peace and ensure that everybody is safe.
And when you go to some houses to do searches, you have to present a search warrant in that case to enter a property.
Yes,
I know what you said about searching a vehicle already, but when it comes to property that is like a house or a building,
we can still use the Firearm Act, Section 30, that gives us the power to search a property without a search warrant.
Okay.
Because once you have reasonable grounds to suspect that that person has a firearm, yes, you can.
Okay. All right. And in terms of providing information to the police and to RRU, how can persons safely provide you with information or intelligence? How can that be done? Especially since policing is not just about the execution of your duties, but it's also the cooperation of us as citizens. So when it comes to safely providing information, what can you say? Before answering that, let's hold that as we have a caller. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to the ladies and good morning to Roleza.
Morning. And the gentleman in studio. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning to you, caller.
When you approach a scene, it is not wise that there should be somebody there to photograph and so on the scene while they're carrying out your duties. And that is not okay to do that.
You mean as a bystander?
Yeah, a police officer could be there standing to organize, to frame the whole situation so that, if you have to go to court, there's a disturbance, that person could present the evidence with, with my wife.
Oh, you mean a police officer doing the recording instead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes. That do happens.
Okay. All right, caller.
Because of the large nature of the crowd, it is not advised for us as police to enter because it is already being hostile. So therefore, we don't want anything to get out of control. So what we would do, we would take photographs and then we do the necessaries from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. All righty. So the question of safely providing information to the police or to you as the RRU.
Well, what we need is accurate facts.
Is it safe for me to provide information in the first place?
Yes. Your information will be treated with a high level of confidentiality. Nobody knows that you passed that information to me, so therefore nobody can approach you and said, "Oh, Samuel told this to me."
All right. So if I go down on a beach today, and this whole conversation about cocaine washing a show and so forth, right? So I call, let's say 999, and I said, well, I've seen a package of cocaine floating. It's washed ashore. What happens there? Would RRU actually respond to something like that, though?
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Okay.
See,
But when I call, what happens?
We would not ask you for your name, nothing like that, because we're not interested in your name. We just need the information so that we can get whatever information that we needed, so we could respond in a timely and quickly manner and work with the necessary equipments that we need.
I have instances where I receive information from a friend or even a stranger, and I work with Sergeant Williams, and acting on that information, I will inform the sergeant of the information I receive, but I will never tell the sergeant, well, John Jones is the one who gave me the information. I will just simply say my reliable source, and then we act on the information we receive.
Okay. Because remember, we have to protect you as well. Because persons may see you and they may say, it's Maloney who went and tell the police this and tell the police that. And that is what we don't want.
Okay.
It is not a practice within the organization, so that would never happen.
Okay. All right. And maybe this would be our final question for this morning, unless there is something else that you want to touch on before we go. But looking back over time, how could Vincentians measure the progress or the successes of the RRU over the past few years?
Well, as I said, from the inception of the RRU, which is in 2002, that will make us 24 years as part of the organization. And crime has been reduced drastically since the inception of RRU, with joint forces with other departments in the police force. And as my colleague said, just our mere presence on the road acts as a deterrent. And I would like to congratulate these people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for being law-abiding citizens thus far. So let us come together. Let us walk hand in hand so that we can still be the gem of the Antilles. So visitors can enjoy our hospitality, our scenery. They can walk our shows and our streets without being interfered with. So that's basically it.
Okay. All right, so I see a final question coming through here. What steps does the RRU take to check authenticity of information? Do you receive prank calls?
Yeah, we receive a lot of prank calls from time to time. But I mean, at the end of the day, information received, we have to act on the information. So it's just about we going out, safeguarding ourselves first and our colleagues, and proceed on our duties. Whether it's a prank call or the information is relevant or accurate. We wouldn't know if it's a prank call unless we go actually. So we act on all information received.
So you assess the information, but treat all information as if something actually happens. Because sometimes you may say, Maloney, give me some information, and me feel like me not want to go, and I ain't trust that information. But when you sit down and you assess and you analyze that information, that could be information that could solve the piece of puzzle that was wanted for us to solve, and probably a murder or a firearm case or something like that. So we treat all information as important.
Okay. All right. I see another a call coming through, so we will take this as our final call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, I just have a question for the police officers, right? Having heard them saying that
Okay, Mr. Stricker, we hearing a feedback, so if you could turn it down, because we're hearing an echo.
Okay. Yeah, so they said the lady said that if somebody they can search somebody's house if they're suspected of having a firearm without a warrant. The question I have is that if Mr. John tell the police that Mr. Jones have a gun and there are no proven evidence, and the police search Mr. John without a warrant, is there any repercussion on the police part? Can the victim sue for wrongful search?
You see, the question is receiving that information. As the sergeant said before, we treat every information as serious as we can. We wouldn't know if the information is true or false unless we act on that information. So we'll go about our proceedings. If we can obtain a search warrant, we will obtain a search warrant. But as the officer said, we have the privilege of searching under the Firearm Act. So we'll proceed, we'll search. In the event that nothing is found, then.
But so I think I probably understand the question. In the event where, so you know that I have given you wrong information, could I be charged, for wasting police time? Because I've given you the information, you've gone and done the search. It's not a case where, let's say, I called through 911 or 999. So I'm anonymous in that sense. Yeah. You know exactly what has brought the information to you. Could I be charged for wasting your time? Or you've never come across a situation like that?
I never come across.
Okay, so as well, they've never come across that situation.
Yeah, but there should be something in place for people, like when people do stuff like that, and not only them, the person who gave the wrong information, but the person who's been searched wrongfully, there should be some compensation for the wrongful search. Okay. That's what I think. That's my belief.
Yes, I get where you're coming from. Okay. All right. So thank you. Bye bye. All right. So I guess we don't have people who do that kind of stuff too often.
Not too often.
Not too often? Okay. All right. So as we wrap up for today, what final thoughts do you want to leave with us as listeners, both of you?
I want to urge the public to continue to cooperate with the police in general, not just RIU, but the police in general in Stevenson and Grenadines, to make Stevenson a safer place. The police can only do so much by themselves. We need the public full cooperation to not just to make our jobs more easier, but to make it more effective in solving crime and also preventing crime.
Okay. And Sergeant Williams?
Well, I would just to allude to what my colleague has said. So far, we have seen a reduction in crime. Posters are coming forward with intelligence, and I must give them a plus for that. So I implore on us as citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, let us all continue to maintain law and order so we can bring back the stability and the reassurance of the public that the police is much alive, and we are the public's friend, and we expect their cooperation as well, because a chain is as strong as its weakest link. So therefore, if you see something and you withheld that information from the police, it is an injustice and an indictment on your behalf for us not to solve that crime, because, as I said before, sometimes it's only when the shoe is on our feet. As old people say, when they're in the kitchen, you go feel the heat. So I just want us to be that loving St. Vincent again, as it used to be probably 20 years or so. You know, as I said, we used to be living good. Neighbors used to be living good. If we see somebody strange in the community, allow somebody in the community take photos, you know, so that would kind of lessen the investigative work for the police. So I implore on Vincentians, let us all come on board to help to rid these firearms that are on our streets. And these gangs as well that we have, the 6 and the 7 gangs, I implore on parents, especially mothers and fathers, have regular conversations with your kids. You know, sometimes what we need to do as parents with our 14 and 15-year-old, go to the schools, see what are they doing in school, make regular checks on them. So therefore, you would know that, boy, my children, if somebody come and say, my child do this, you know, you couldn't know which path to take. So let us be safe, be our brother's keeper. And I think that's it for me.
All righty. So we've come to the end of today's Cop Chat, and we were talking on the topic of ready and responding, the rapid response unit. And in studio, we had still have Constable Desron Maloney and Sergeant Lafleur Williams. So Constable Maloney and Sergeant Williams, we thank you both for being here with us this morning. And as you have asked and encouraged that us as citizens try to make your jobs a lot easier. All right? So have a good one and be productive and you get some rest.
You too. Thank you.
All righty.